Welcome to WCG 2019. I am Motic, joined by Ashtix, and we've got the first game coming up. We've got GameWith from Asia versus Team Liquid West. So this is going to be some amazing matchups. What do you think about Ashtix?
That's going to be insane. We have the three best teams of each region competing today, and they are going to battle to show which is the best region in the world.
Yep, it's going to be amazing matchups. What are they going to play? We've seen some different decks, I guess, in CRL in general. Some Giant Skeletons, some Royal Giant Lightning. Mainly, it's kind of like was a strong deck for a really long time.
And also what's really interesting, it really depends on the region. You know, the Asian players are not really playing the same decks as the West players. So we're going to have to see who is playing what and how they are going to counter each other, because it's not going to be the same matches that they are used to play in their own CRL.
Yep, even not too long ago there were some massive updates to the game, some balance changes, and that has definitely shifted the meta a lot. So we're definitely just going to see what they're going to play. I can't wait to see some of these games. We've been waiting a little while for these games, so we're going to get right into it soon. So like I say, we've got GameWith Asia versus Team Liquid first, and then after, I think it's after the opening ceremony, we're going on to Chaos Theory versus SK Gaming afterwards. So this is going to be some really amazing matchups. I think some, like you say, some of the best teams in the world are right here in Xi'an right now.
Really, really exciting, and I cannot wait to see that first match. GameWith, who a team that finished second of the CRL Asia, a Japanese team, against Team Liquid's the first team of the West. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see this. Team Liquid was so strong in the playoffs. They were amazing.
Yep, I think they had a not too good start, and then coming to the end, they really pulled it off in the end and managed to come up and make their way all the way to Xi'an. So
at some point, they were in 2 victories and 4 defeats, and then they just came back out of nowhere. Surgical and Canario just won 3 matches in a row just by themselves, and then at the playoffs, Booth match was just incredible.
Yep, I think since their management changed as well, I think that made such a huge difference. Elric came in and everything changed when he came into the game.
That is correct. Now we're going to have to see what is going to happen against another team from another CRL. And again, other deck pools. We know that, especially in Japan, the bait decks are very, very popular, which is not the case at all in the West. So let's see how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, it's going to be some major match. I can't wait. I mean, like I say, these two regions, like you say, they're just very different. They use similar decks, but just slightly different with the meta. So we know a few decks from some of the. I think we've seen some of the decks from some of the players that are going to play. We haven't obviously shared them at all whatsoever ourselves, but these guys are just changing up their decks a lot, and they're just trying to get their opponent down. So, yeah.
So here's the tournament format. First, we have the group stage tournament format, round robin. We're going to have best of 3s, and 1 win is plus 3 points, and 1 loses, of course, plus 0 point.
Yep, we got knockout stage tournament, single elimination, match format, best of 5. So the prize pool is huge as well. We got first place $50,000 US, second place $20,000 US, and third place $10,000 US. So that's a huge amount of money on the line at the moment for this tournament.
That's right. But I think the prestige of finishing first and having your region be the best region in the world, I think that is what they are really competing for.
Yeah, definitely. Who do you think yourself's going to win? Do you think it's going to be Asia? Do you think it's going to be West? There's definitely strong teams on both sides, so
I have no idea, really. It's so hard to judge. Like, we really do not see this very often. We know that Nova Esports really dominated at the finals in 2018. Now we're going to need to see how it's going to be like, having the 3 best teams of each region competing. I mean, playing together in the end.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait till some of these matchups start. I really want to see what these guys are going to play, because at this sort of level, it's like they could play a counter deck and still actually beat the counter deck as well. So it's all about drop placements, everything. So
we have bans as well. That's going to be very interesting.
We have bans, the bans as well. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get them. Is any of the bans out yet? I don't think we've got the bans.
We're going to have it very soon, and I cannot wait to see this.
So I would like to see their bans. I mean, I think Dark Prince has been banned a lot. I think just kind of cards like that, just really strong cards that have been buffed recently. We're just going to have to see how it goes. So
yeah, you have here all the teams competing in the WCG Invitational. You've got Ponos, GameWith, and Chaos Theory for Asia, SK Gaming, Team Liquid, and Immortals for West, and Nova Esports, Wedge, I don't know how to say this one, I'm really sorry, and LGD Gaming for China.
Yep. All strong teams. I'm actually part of Nova Esports myself as a content creator, so I'm hoping they do well, just because they're obviously I'm a part of their team, but I'm rooting for all teams. I really like Team Liquid, I really like SK as well, so hopefully any of these teams are
all those teams are amazing.
Yeah,
all of them. Yep. All of them, and that's going to be insane, really. the gameplay we're going to have in the next few days is going to be the very best in the world. Like, we've never seen this. Even the CRL West, I was impressed this season compared to last year. You know, the improvement in only a few months, it was incredible.
Yeah, these guys practice so much. I mean, they've got at least 10 different decks they're going between
at the very
pro
least.
level, and they're playing each deck at pro level. The amount of hours you need to put in to do 10 decks at pro level is insane amount.
Yeah, that is right.
You're talking about thousands of hours here, not just hundreds of hours.
Of course, yeah, that's insane. It's like at least 6 hours a day, I'd say, and practicing with so much archetypes in the game. They need to know how to play everything, basically. Even they all have a kind of a main deck, but they need to know how to play everything to not be countered.
Yep, at this level, it's pretty much a full-time job playing Clash Royale.
It is.
At a pro level. You need to practice 6-8 hours a day, like Hashtag said, and if you don't play that much, there's the chances that you're not going to do too well in the tournament. So you just need to constantly play over and over again.
And it's not only playing, you know, it's like now they have teams, they have managers, they have analysts, they have everything, you know, to really be at the best level in the world. And that's what's make the gameplay so incredible, because we cannot reach that level without you know, that environment, and that's really impressive.
Yeah, like talking about the managers are the ones scouting out other players, telling the players what the other players play best at and trying to counter those players. But there's some mind games in there as well, I guess. So there's a player that can counter a player, but then you can go and counter the player afterwards. So it's like there's so many mind games when it comes to Clash Royale at this level. There's just so many decks you can choose from. I mean, there's millions of different combinations with just those 90 cards. So
yeah, and I remember in the West, very often you would have an interview of the player saying that their coach told them to play a certain deck. You know, rather than the player himself trying to think under pressure, the coach just arrives and say, okay, you need to do this now, and the player does it and it works. That's what's amazing about that.
Even some decks that do come out, I've seen players which actually it's not a deck they've actually played before, but they're just really good with that deck. Right, so we're getting to the first game now. We've got KK versus Boofmac. So Boofmac, one of the strongest players on Team Liquid right now, starting off with an Ice Spear on the right-hand side. We've got Fire Sprints coming down, Furnace coming down on the right-hand side as well. Dark Prince going straight into it, though. So I'm not too sure about that from Boofmac, but we'll see how he plays this out. Megman should easily be able to clear this up.
And Boofmac has banned the Goblin Berry, by the way. We were talking about the bait decks from Japan, so that is the reason why.
Bait decks, I feel, are really strong right now. You see them a lot on ladder, you see them a lot in challenges at the moment. I feel like, I don't know why they're just so strong at the moment. I mean, they've just appeared out of nowhere. Ever since the Inferno Tower nerf, I thought you wouldn't see as many bait decks, but they just seem to be at the net meta all the time. But Royal Giant coming up the left-hand side, getting so much damage onto the left-hand tower, already 1,000 HP off from Boofmac from the start of the game. Good defense on the right-hand side. The Mega Minion is not going to do anything. I've not seen Boofmac's deck actually. This is a different RG deck. I don't normally place kind of Dark Prince and RG decks, but I guess because Dark Prince is so strong at the moment, it's probably a good option right now. Now there is an Furnace for KK. There are also Barbarians, so that's going to be kind of difficult to get that Royal Giant on the towers. Yep. I guess he's going to have to maybe force out the Barbarians and then get the Royal Giant down afterwards. Because like you say, if he puts the Royal Giant down straight away, those Barbarians are just going to take out in seconds. Especially with that Furnace tanking as well. Really nice Fireball coming down, taking that Musketeer down. I guess he couldn't get the Furnace plus the Musketeer, so that was definitely a good move. And Barbaro just being able to clear everything up. The Mega Minion maybe getting some swipes off here, but Ice Spirit managing to just pull it to the middle. Yeah, perfectly done here for Boofmac. He's just really taking his time. He knows the left-hand side tower is quite low, so he can just Fireball cycle on it. Yep. He doesn't need to take any risk at this point. Yeah, he's got a huge amount of damage on that left-hand side, playing really well. And like I say, he doesn't need to take any big risks. He's got the Royal Giant at the back. He's going to build up a push here. He's just going to see what his opponent plays. I mean, his opponent is getting that Furnace built up, so eventually that chip damage is going to make a difference, but we'll have to see how the rest of this plays out. Bar Barrel, absolutely perfect here, taking care of everything. The Royal Giant is slowly making its way through the bridge. I've got that double Furnace coming down, so there could be a huge amount of pressure coming up here with this Greyguard, who eventually hasn't actually played Greyguard this entire game. It's just stuck in his hand the entire game. But here we go, here's the Greyguard coming down. Full tank with the Ice Golem as well, so this is going to be a huge amount of damage on Boofmac's tower if he does not get something down. Got the Poison down as well, take out the Ice Wizard, taking down the Barbarian Barrel as well, almost equalizing the damage on both towers. The RG is going to connect one time, twice, 400 HP on the tower. That Royal Giant though is just so strong. You let it connect to your tower for at least 2 shots, that's like 600 damage on your tower. It's a crazy amount of damage that thing does. Right, so we have,
yeah,
this is double Elixir now. We've got Royal Giant coming down at the last second here. Barb's actually going down for the Royal Giant, but I still feel it's going to get shot through. We've got the Furnace going down. That does manage to block it, but the Fireball going down. Huge amount of damage on the left-hand tower.
He cannot finish that tower with another Fireball. He needs 2 Fireballs at the very least.
I think it's 194 HP. I think the Fireball does the damage.
201.
Oh, is it 201? My bad. Okay, so we got the Graveyard coming down again. We've got the Poison going down. We've got the Ice Storm tanking, so he really needs to get this tower down this push. He could potentially get it as well. Those skeletons do so much damage to the tower, but Boofmac just needs to get a little bit more damage. He's not going to waste his Fireball and cycle through 2 Fireballs to get this, but the pressure from KK right now could actually win him.
Yeah, he could. He's going to go with another Graveyard. Here it is.
That is a Graveyard. Nothing to tank for it though, so maybe no damage getting done to the tower. Mega Minion defending, plus the Ice Wizard as well, so I'm not too sure about that Graveyard. We've got a huge push coming off the Royal Giant on the left-hand side. Probably going to get this shot in, but Furnace blocking it right away. I don't know about that Furnace placement. What do you think about that Furnace placement? I guess it just takes too much damage. That's kind of panic kind of Furnace placement, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think he wanted to avoid the Fireball on the Furnace, and he just wanted to really make sure that Furnace would defend, would tank for the tower.
I guess it'd probably bear at the bridge, because I mean there you can't actually Fireball the tower, plus the Furnace as well. If you put it more to the middle, you could always get a Fireball off, depending on placements again, but that was really well played, and Boofmac managed to take the first
game. But still close though. KK really came back in the game. It was quite close.
I think when you get that Furnaces built up with the Graveyard as well, it's just huge pressure coming down the lane, and that's what he was going for. It doesn't matter about your tower HP being around about 400 or 500 HP, it's just that Furnace pressure constantly building up and then getting that Graveyard off in the end. I mean, I've got a deck where I've got a Hut deck I'm playing at the moment, and it just, I can have the lowest HP of tower, but that build up with the Huts constantly spamming, you just can't get through them sometimes, especially with the Royal Giant.
Yeah, but Boofmac went through.
Yeah, he did win. It was that early pressure, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did have the Barb in his hand really early on. That was maybe the problem. I think it was quite far in his cycle.
Yeah.
He couldn't put the Barbarians down against the Royal Giant. So
yeah, clearly that was it. Now we're gonna have another game. It's best of 3 for the 1v1. So we're gonna see if KK can come back here.
He could potentially come back. I mean, he looked strong in that matchup. It was, like you say, it was really close.
Yeah.
He needed one good Graveyard. He had no tank for that Graveyard. So I think maybe I felt he did think he had a tank for that Graveyard, but he didn't actually have a tank for the Graveyard. So, and then yeah, he just kind of lost because of that Graveyard. It's a huge spend if you put Graveyard down and don't put anything else down.
But he was very patient though. We haven't seen a Graveyard for like 4 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
He really built the entire push, so that was really well played from him.
Yeah, I think it was a good move, definitely. Just kind of cycling through to your Furnaces constantly, not overcommitting with the Graveyard, and just getting that build up. He almost got it there. I mean, it was so close. If he got that little tank in for that Graveyard, he would have won that game, I think. Yeah,
that's where the Fireball from Boofmac was really great. Rather than trying to get that damage on the tower, he was like, no, I'm first going to defend and then I'm going to take the tower.
Yeah.
And that's what gave him the win.
Yeah. So, really well played by Boofmac there, but is he going to go with the Royal Giant again, or is he going to switch up his deck? I mean, even Fireball in his hand, he only had Fireball in his hand there. He didn't really have a hard counter to Graveyard. He had the Ice Wizard, he had the Mega Minion, which definitely stopped it pretty much 90% of the time, but he didn't have that poison.
I don't know, you think he's going to go with a Royal Giant again?
He could potentially. I mean, I guess I probably would go with the same deck again. I mean, he struggled against the Royal Giant, so we're just going to have to see how this plays out. It does look like he is playing this Royal Giant deck again. KK has switched up his...
Alright, so that's a Mortar deck for KK, and Boofmac might be a Royal Giant. Oh no, that's a Sparky.
He has switched up his deck. He has gone for this Sparky, potentially Giant Sparky deck, or we'll have to see where he plays out. Boofmac
Goblin
has
Giant.
Goblin Giant.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I've actually seen that Goblin Giant deck. It's quite strong. I think I've actually used it before as well.
So strong. One of the best deck of CRL West, at least.
There's just a lot of zapping, and I guess you saw the Barbara just got one shot there. We've got Dark Prince coming forward into the Prince as well. Sparky's still looking pretty strong at the moment. I see this Dark Goblin's going to be able to clear all this up before it gets any shot on the tower.
There is.
Is it one shot to the tower? Boofmac is playing so well, defended that Sparky so well, and got a load of damage done. So the Miner coming in the back, chip damage getting done, but I think he was wanting that Dark Goblin, he was wanting those bats in there to try and get more extra chip damage to the tower, but didn't quite work out for him. We got the Hunter going down, really well played from Boofmac again, taking out those Goblins in no time.
Again on the first move.
Yeah.
First move of the game. Boofmac is taking such an advantage for the rest of the game, then he just needs to cycle his spell and that's it.
Yep, that was a huge amount of aggression for Boofmac, and Jeopardy played really well there. 635 HP in the tower. He can just sit back, chill a little bit. He doesn't need to go over aggressive right now. I don't know if he has a big spell in this deck, though. He obviously hasn't shown 2 of his cards right now, but huge pressure coming on the right-hand side with that Prince. Prince really strong at the moment, does so much damage, such a tanky unit. Those bats getting a huge amount of damage onto the tower, but Prince not actually connecting there, so really good play there with the Goblin Cage.
Now, Boofmac is going to go on the left-hand side with a push. Now, there is a miner on the tower, though, so he needs to defend this.
Yeah, Boofmac's definitely getting this tower down on the left-hand side. The thing is, Boofmac's towers on both sides are pretty low, so I think if KK can actually get that left-hand tower down, it might be an advantage here.
Exactly, that's why Boofmac really needs to defend that left-hand side.
Dark Goblin coming forward here into this Sparky.
Yeah, he needs to.
Yeah, he needs definitely. 651 HP. I don't think he's definitely going to be able to get any fireball cycles on here. He does go for the opposing side with the Prince, which is going to be pulled over, but those bats connecting to the tower can get a bit of damage done. Yep, they're getting huge amount of damage every single time. He doesn't like Boofmac actually has a big, he doesn't have a small spell on his deck. So I think that's his problem with this deck. He needs to get, well, he does have the bar barrel, but that does nothing to the back, so he's going to struggle here, I think. Maybe he can just defend these last 5 seconds. He's definitely going to win the game here. Fireball going down. That is a good game. Really well played from Boofmac again. That was actually really well played. He took damage on both towers. I mean, if one of those towers go down, Boofmac would have 100% lost that game, I think. 100%.
That was really close, though. That was like 200 HP.
Yeah.
KK tried to really be aggressive on the left-hand side, but that didn't work out.
Yep.
And again, that first move in the game, just going in with a massive push, KK was not ready.
Yeah, yep, definitely. He defended that Sparky really well, got the Goblin Giant in front, and that was just easy tower taking at the start of the game. So, like you say, the huge pressure from Boofmac at the start, it's just pressure all the time. So it's just like your opponent can't really do anything. But I think he definitely came back at the end there. The tower HP was so low on both sides. I'll go back to that again.
It's exactly the same thing as the first game. It's like Boofmac taking the advantage at the beginning of the game, KK coming back, but just not enough, barely not enough.
Not enough whatsoever. So again, really well played there from Boofmac. So taking the first game for Team Liquid.
Exactly. Now we're going to move to the 2v2 now. That's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be, I've seen that. I think his stronger decks is more of the Giant Skeleton Graveyard decks. I think that's the strongest decks in 2v2 right now.
Yeah, you've got some Giant Skeleton Graveyard, Giant Skeleton RG as well. You've got some Rime Riders sometimes.
Some
Ram Rider.
Oh yeah, Ram Rider.
And you've got some Lava Hound as well.
Yep, Lava Hound as well. Lava Hound's just one of those decks I feel at the moment that are just really strong. You see the clone Lava Hound decks, you see loads of different decks with Lava Hound at the moment. It's just, there's a lot of, I think a lot of players aren't running a huge amount of anti-air in their decks, especially tank killers for air as well. You're very limited for tank killers for air. You've got Inferno Dragon, you've got the Inferno Tower as well, but obviously because of the nerf of the Inferno Tower recently, it's not as strong as it used to be.
Yeah. Now 2v2 could be interesting though, because you've got twice more tanks.
Yeah.
So could be interesting.
Yep. I wonder who's playing actually for the 2v2. I think we saw there was a Surgical Goblin Canario coming up for the 2v2. I think for Team Liquid.
That's their 2v2.
Yeah,
that's they are so good in 2v2.
They are
amazing
players,
incredible.
Some of the best players in the world.
But again, we're going to say this every single match anyway.
Yeah. I mean, these players are at the highest level you can possibly ever get in CR. The amount it took them to actually get to here in Xi'an it was just crazy. It took them so long. You know, like so many games.
An entire season,
so many teams,
entire season basically of CRL trying to qualify and having to be in the top 3 to be here today and to be able to compete, just compete.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you get flown all the way to China. There's limited people that actually get to this point. I mean, there's 20 million plus players playing the game a month.
That's insane.
They're just, and these are the small percentage. This is the 0.001% of all players that get through to China.
Exactly, we know why. I mean, when we see the gameplay, we know why they're here.
Yeah,
they're just the best in the world. That's it.
Yeah, it's just huge aggression from them, though. It's just huge aggression from Team Liquid so far. I wonder if they're going to keep up that aggression and be able to take this on.
We're going to see. Anyway, I know that this duo, Surgical and Canario in 2v2 is absolutely insane, and they have been dominating really every 2v2 at the end of the season for the CRL West.
2v2 makes such a huge difference as well. If you lose your 2v2 and you lose your 1v1, you just lose everything. I don't think we're doing King of the Hill here as well, so it's just purely 2v2 and 1v1 at the moment.
Exactly.
So it's really dependent on those two. You have to be good at 2v2 and 1v1 to actually get through. So I just wonder what they're going to play here.
Yeah, and again, it's very interesting because in 2018, 2v2 was kind of new, so the pros didn't really know how to play in this game mode. Now they do. So now we have a real meta, we have a real strategies, and that's really interesting to see this.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see this 2v2. It is going to be amazing, I think.
Yeah, it is. Now, I'm really curious about what decks are going to be played for Asia. So I don't really know the meta for 2v2 in Asia.
Yeah, I've not seen it too much because it's on at kind of random times. I've not been able to see it too much.
I've seen it a bit. It's kind of similar, but not really.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see. But what I like about Asia and China especially is because they are so creative with their decks. In the West, we tend to be more mainstream, you know. We don't take too much risk in the West.
Yeah, it's more meta decks
usually.
They play. I mean, Asia, they definitely play meta decks as well, but they put those extra cards in there. They kind of put off their opponents, and then just kind of they normally win because of that as well, because your opponent doesn't know what you're playing whatsoever when you're coming out with such a random card. So
we've seen this as well. Every time there was an element of surprise in the decks, every time it was working out, or even not necessarily in the decks, but just in the lineup, could make a whole difference. Just that element of surprise is so important at that level.
Yeah, it's huge. It's definitely huge. I mean, if your opponent doesn't know you're coming out with even an air deck, for example, you're just going to lose the game. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this goes out. I just can't wait to see this 2v2 matchup. It's going to be amazing with these players.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some RG in the
RG?
2v2. Yeah, I think so. Usually you open with RG. It's like a safe choice. Maybe with a giant skeleton as well.
Yeah.
A bit of tornado.
Big graveyard in there as well, I guess. So.
Might be.
Yeah. I guess that graveyards always gets chip damage on the tower now consistently. It doesn't matter if the poison's down, because at one point in the game, I guess the whole graveyard, if you put poison on top of it, it wouldn't get any chip damage whatsoever. But I mean, it was quite a few months ago they changed that in one of the patches. So graveyard is definitely a lot stronger now, I think. So you don't really see it much in 1v1 though, as much. I mean, you have recently because of this kind of giant skeleton graveyard decks and stuff like that. But graveyard hasn't really been there at the moment, I don't think.
Yeah, there are a few decks though. There are the Splash Art is coming back. You've got there's a double Prince graveyard deck as well, which is interesting. Yeah,
I think it's Musketeer. It's got a few other little things in there as well. So
and we've seen the one with the Furnace, which we've just seen it. So
yeah.
There are a few options now. It's not. It's quite good. It's still quite good in the meta.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely these graveyard decks are they're definitely coming back here. I haven't seen a lot of Splash Art though, you know, like some Bowler. Bowler's kind of not one of those cards you've kind of seen too much. I mean, in 2v2, they can't. I could see Bowler being good in 2v2, especially with Tornado as well. I guess because of that Lava Hound, you probably want to play something like Executioner instead of that, just purely because of that in 2v2, but for that all-round kind of AoE.
Yeah, usually you have the Ice Wizard and Tornado. That's cheaper. More cycle, you get the slow effect.
Yeah. Probably the better card to go for.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, we're going to have to see this, but really, I think those cards, especially graveyards and RG, are played at this level because even if you defend it perfectly, you're still going to get a few damage onto the tower.
Yeah. So especially with like your two opponents as well, they have constant spell cycles as well. So if you put a building down, they're definitely going to get it down. They're going to get that RG forward. They put a poison down. You can't put too many buildings down in the same place unless you really spread them out, and they can get huge value from their spells from their RG push as well. Yeah,
we've seen some minor spells deck in 2v2 that I love to see those.
Minor spell decks.
Minor spells. You've got like Rocket, Poison, Lightning, Fireball, everything really, everything. And you just minor cycle and then send all the spells with as much value as possible, and that's amazing. I love to see this.
Yeah. I guess at one point, like the Clash Royale always comes back to that spell cycle when pros have kind of figured out the kind of decks and stuff like that. Like at one point we were seeing Rocket cycle, but I think that went away really fast because I don't think we want to see Rockets going at the tower every single time. We want to see some units going down, maybe Rocket backing it up a little bit, maybe Fireball, something along that lines.
I remember when it was Lupenji. Lupenji was playing, it was a Bowler, Rocket mirror deck with something like that. It was amazing to see. Like he was just rocketing and then mirroring and just doing this all over again. That was amazing to see.
But it's a strong deck,
I mean, just once, like not all the time.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing that all the time because if your opponent figured out you're going for spell cycles, you can just go for bits. Maybe split pushes even would probably be better against spell cycles.
Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't seen any Three Musketeers though.
You what?
Three Musketeers.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, they were kind of buffed recently again, I guess. They got taken back down to 9 elixir, but because of how slow they drop down, it's not so easy for them to split up. You can easily control them with the Tornado.
Exactly.
You can get a Fireball on top of them as well, especially if they put them in the middle. Fireball's so easy to get on the Three Musketeers. You don't need to time it anymore. You don't need to predict the Three Musketeers. You just throw it down as soon as you see them, and you normally get them. You get huge value.
We've seen them, though, a few times in the West, but it was not that crazy, really.
No.
So it's kind of difficult for the Three Musketeers at the moment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But yeah, we should have this match starting fairly soon. I'm assuming the players are just getting their decks sorted out, and then we're going to have to see what these guys play.
Exactly. That would be cool if we could have the ban already. I don't know if we have it.
I think we did get a sneak peek of it there. I don't know. I think I saw Dark Prince. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't actually look at both sides, but I think I saw Dark Prince banned.
Dark Prince, okay.
Yeah, I'm not too sure 100%, but I'm sure 100% I saw. Well, not 100%, but maybe 90, 70%, something along that lines. I did see that bad. So we're just have to wait and see. I mean, these guys are, like I say, they're top players. So let's see. I don't know. Do you think something like Lava Hound Clone's going to be strong in this, or do you think there's too many spells like Poison and too many tank killers as well?
Well,
for the air?
It could be strong with the bans.
Yeah.
You know, it all depends on the ban. If you ban Tornado and Poison, definitely is going to be strong.
Yeah, because I guess they get 2 bans each, do they, with the 2v2?
1 ban each.
1 ban each, oh yeah.
So, but if one team bans Tornado and the other team bans Poison, then you go for the clone.
You're pretty much, I think if they ban those two, Lava Clone would just dominate completely, so you're probably best at banning those cards.
Without a Poison or Tornado, like, how do you stop a clone? How do you stop that massive, especially in 2v2, you know, 2 Lava Hounds and everything behind, how do you stop this?
I think an answer would maybe be Wizard for some reason, just that kind of splash damage. That'd probably be maybe the only thing. Executioner maybe, but you still need to pull everything together.
Yeah,
so
that's the problem. So you need the Nado.
Yeah, you need the Nado, 100%. You need the Nado. It's so hard to stop Lava Clone at the moment, I feel.
Yeah,
it's just one of those decks, if you haven't got the right cards for it, they're going to just walk through you. But if you've got the right cards, you're just going to dominate it. So it's like, I think, I don't know something he's done about maybe Lava and Clone, because I hear it just a lot of people complaining about that deck. Even though it's not really strong meta, you know, like it's one of those decks you pull out if you know your opponent's not going to have any counters. Because if you have Fireball, what are you supposed to do? Fireball log. Especially with like Expo, something along that lines. What are you supposed to do against Lava Clone?
Well,
that's probably maybe why you don't even see Expo anymore, because of the whole Lava meta at the moment. I mean, Expo does do really well because of the cycle with the Tesla, and then you can eventually take it down. But sometimes it's just really hard to take out that kind of push if you overcommit on one side. So
yeah, we've seen some Expo in the West. Like maybe 2, 3, something like this. Yeah, very
I don't think it's done very well though. I think they've pretty much. I don't think it's got any wins. In the West,
they've tried, but it was not really good.
It used to be such a strong deck though. It's a deck I really like playing myself, but recently there's so much golems. There's so much heavy decks going about. There's giant decks, graveyard decks. Your giant, your Sparky Goblin giant decks. Just those kind of decks going about. So it's just so hard to kind of control that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe one day it will come back. Who knows?
I'm hoping so. Because it was my deck I used to play all the time. Maybe I should have changed up decks a little bit and just not stuck to Expo all the time.
Maybe.
But Minor's kind of my goal now. I stick to Minor decks mainly myself.
Yeah, Minor is also very, very powerful.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the stats of the West again, I think the Minor was one of the most played win condition. And it was also one of the best in terms of win rate. Like, it's really insane. And again, that's a card, even if you defend it perfectly, if you don't just, pre-shot it, then it's just going to get some damage onto your tower. Yeah, and you cannot do anything. Yeah,
it can be in so many decks. So it can be in Lava Hound decks. It can be a chip damage deck by itself as well. It can back up your balloon decks as well. It can be that mini tank.
Yeah.
There's just so much stuff the Minor can do. It's just such a diverse card, the Minor. I think that's why it's so strong.
It is, really. I love that card.
Yeah. I think it's the only unit you can pretty much play except from the Golem Barrel on the opposing side.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's so strong. And plus, it's hard to predict as well. I mean, unless you know exactly the path of which it's going to go, you don't know if it's going to go in the inside the tower, outside the tower. Sometimes it looks like it's going behind. So it's quite hard to predict it sometimes as well.
There's a whole science behind this. You know, some players have their way. Like some have like a plan. They always do it with the same pattern.
Yeah.
Some others just do it randomly.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of opinion around it, how to do this. But
I think probably random is the best because you don't want your opponent kind of getting your Minor every single time, because that Minor can make a huge difference in the whole game, especially if you're running purely Minor chip damage. If they catch your Minor every single time, 100% you're going to lose that game. There's nothing you can do about it. So you really need to get that placements down really, really well.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe we'll see some Minors in the next matches now. We're still waiting for the 2v2.
We're still waiting. Oh, here we go.
Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. So we have...
the third game.
The third match, okay, yeah. So sorry, we're not going into 2v2. We're actually going back to the 1v1. So we've got KK versus Boofmac. We have got Goblin Barrel banned and Baby Dragon banned as well. Baby Dragon, really strong card at the moment, so I like that ban from KK. But we got kind of like a bait deck coming out from Boofmac, maybe potentially Mortar. Royal Giant coming down from KK, getting that hit on the tower again. It's just so much damage. It walks through. If you don't have any buildings, it will just walk through and at least get 2 shots in your tower. That Dark Prince with that smack in the end as well. 1600 HP on Boofmac's tower, right hand side, but the counter push coming in for Boofmac with the Mega Knight and Skeleton Barrel as well.
The Mega Knight is not going to jump. The Tornado is really, really good here from KK.
We got some bads coming down as well. Mega Knight going down in no time, and a good clear up from KK as well. So
perfect
really well
defense.
from KK.
Perfect defense from KK, and he has the lead in terms of HP on the right hand side.
Yep, 1600 HP for Boofmac, so let's see how this goes. We got some goblins coming down, but the Ice Wizard's going to easily be able to clear this up. And I'm not sure Boofmac's going to be able to get through here. There's just so much stuff to slow this down. He's got the barrel, he's got the tornado. He can just stop this bait really well. So Boofmac really needs to get his opponent out-cycled and get huge damage in with that with the Skeleton Barrel. But I just feel it's going to be hard to get through because all those spells, Ice Spirit, just any little spell to be able to take this down.
Inferno Dragon in the back here.
Yep, Inferno Dragon building up to the Mega Minion. We got Dark Prince coming in the back for KK as well. So Mega Knight coming forward, probably going to jump over there. And Lightning coming down from KK.
That's expensive.
That is very expensive. But I mean, he's still got, I think he's definitely got enough elixir to defend. This Ice Wizard is going to be able to stop it every single time. We're probably going to see the Bar Barrel coming down fairly soon as well. But the Tornado to the King Tower, the activation. So this is KK looking really, really far ahead at the moment just because that King Tower activation as well. I think he's going to struggle with Boofmac to get some connections on the tower here.
Yeah, he might now. It's very passive, you know, the game is very passive. They're not really taking any risk. Boofmac is trying to really pressure KK, especially on the left-hand side with the Mega Knight again.
I don't know how he's going to stop this push though. I mean, we got Mega Knight coming in, we got the Minor tank in as well. Even if he does put the Bar Barrel down, he may even still lose his tower on the left-hand side with the pads coming forward. We got a nice Tornado coming down there as well. Minor chip damage getting done, 800 HP left on the tower, so Boofmac is completely caught up here on the left-hand side. So the Inferno Tower going down with the Ice Spirit, not magic to actually catch the Inferno Tower. Inferno Dragon, so taking down the Royal Giant in no time.
Boofmac is completely dominating this game. He's coming back, 800 HP on the left-hand side.
Yeah, we got 800 HP, we got Mega Knight coming on the right-hand side with the bads coming behind it as well. So let's see if we're going to be able to get a connection up here. Royal Giant ruling on the opposite side though, so I think that's a good move there. Coming out from KK, really trying to get that Mega Knight down. Lightning going down, get a little bit of value from it there actually. I think that was a really good Lightning match to get the Skeleton Barrel in as well. I don't think Boofmac was quite ready for that Lightning.
And the Minor, as we said, is pre-shot here. He's not going to get any damage onto the tower. KK is looking good.
Yep, KK still looking good on both sides. Still got the towers pretty low, but Boofmac still ahead on that left-hand side on HP. Could get a huge counter push off here. I don't think this Royal Giant's going to get too much done. And then we got a lot to defend this here as well. But we'll see. I mean, he's just cycling through here. I think he might have out-cycled his spells right now. So the Mega Knight jumping forward here, going to definitely be able to try and take on this Dark Prince. And we've got Snowball coming down as well. I think Boofmac might have taken this though. Nice Bar Barrel going down, so no hasn't taken the tower yet on the left-hand side. But I think Boofmac, if he just controls both sides, doesn't let that RG get in, he might win the game. He hasn't got a building to stop it, so he's going to struggle to stop that RG.
Yeah, the RG is going to get 1 shot, 2 shots, and the 3rd one, and the 4th one, and that's it.
Really well played there.
He just couldn't stop it.
Yep. I mean, if you don't have a building for the Royal Giant, what are you supposed to do? It's always going to land shots on the tower. You need to maybe turn it. Even if you tornadoed it back there, and it's still got damage on the tower. Yeah,
and Boofmac couldn't do anything. I mean, KK knew the only defense was the Inferno Dragon, so he's just Lightning.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yep, that was really well played from KK. I did think Boofmac was going to come back there with that towered HP on the left-hand side, but that control near the end was perfect from KK. Getting that Goblin Barrel, getting the Barbarian Barrel down every single time those skeletons, not allowing those skeletons get any damage on the tower. Maybe a little bit of damage from the actual splash itself from the Skeleton Barrel, but again, really well played there. But it's still 2-1 to Boofmac, so that's a win for Team Liquid for now, for the first set at least. And now we're going to have the 2v2.
Yeah, we're going to have the 2v2
now. We were speaking about 2v2 before, but I guess they were just sorting out their decks. I guess they got a few minutes to kind of pick their decks, and then, we're going to go into 2v2 now. I think, like I say, I think it's Surgical Goblin versus Canario coming up next. So 2 really strong players. think Surgical Goblin probably one of the most well-known players in CR in general.
Yeah, and he did a massive comeback in the West.
Yeah.
Really, like many people were saying he was not at his best anymore, and he just proved he's a beast. He is still a beast.
All it takes is a bit of practice. Okay, we're going to take a short break right now for about 5 minutes, so we'll see you guys soon.